In this video, I am going to explain how to solve a transportation problem by using UV method or modified distribution method. This modified distribution method is commonly known as MODI method. Here, for finding solution to the transportation problem is obtained in two stages. First one is to obtain an initial feasible solution. This I have already explained by using northwest corner rule, least cost method and Vogel's approximation method. Earlier I have posted a video how to find an initial feasible solution by using these three methods. You could find the link for that video in the description below. Next, stage 2 is to obtain optimal solution from the basic initial solution. That is, we have to find optimal solution by using MODI's method. Now we have solved an example to test for optimality. Here we have an example. Obtain an optimum basic feasible solution to the following transportation problem. In this example, we have to find optimum basic feasible solution. It means we have to use MODI's method. So here we have three rows, that is F1, F2, F3, that represents factory, and four columns W1, W2, W3 and W4. It represents warehouse, and demand and supply is given. So before solving the problem, first we have to check whether it is balanced or unbalanced. So for that we have to calculate supply and demand. First we'll calculate supply. Supply value is 7 plus 9 plus 18. So the total is 34, and similarly demand total is this 5 plus 8 plus 7 plus 14. If you add, you will get 34. So both are equal, therefore it is balanced transportation problem. Next we have to find an initial basic feasible solution. For that we have to use Vogel's approximation method. This Vogel's approximation method already I have explained and posted a video. So first we have to find row difference and column difference. So first we have to find row difference, that is and next column difference. So we have to select two least values and we have to find the difference. So first consider first row. In that first row we have 19, 30, 50 and 10. So the least values are 19 and 10. So first find the difference. 19 minus 10, that is 9. Next second row 70, 30, 40, 60. Least values are 30 and 40. The difference is 40 minus 30, that is 10. Next move on to third row 40, 8, 70, 20. Least values are 8 and 20. So the difference is 20 minus 8, that is 12. Next we have to find column difference. First consider W1 column 19, 70, 40. So the least values are 19 and 40. So the difference is 40 minus 19, that is 21. Next W2 column 30, 30 and 8. So the least values are 30 and 8. So if you subtract, you will get 30 minus 8, that is 22. Next move on to third column 50, 40, 70. Least values are 50 and 40. So the difference is 50 minus 40, that is 10. Next last column 10, 60, 20. So the least values are 10 and 20. So the difference is 20 minus 10, that is 10. So in that row difference and column difference we have to consider the largest value. So the row differences are 9, 10, 12, column difference 21, 22, 10 and 10. So the largest value is 22. So this is the first penalty. So this corresponds to W2 column, right? So in that column we have to consider the least value. Least value is 8. So therefore our first allocation at this cell, third row, second column. So in that cell we have to consider demand and supply. Demand is 8 and supply is 18. So least value is 8. So using this allocation value we have to subtract demand and supply. So 8 minus 8, this is 0, and 18 minus 8, that is 10. So demand value is 0. So this allocation satisfies the demand value. So we have to cancel this corresponding column, because here we have 0. Next, again we have to find row difference and column difference with the remaining values. See, first we will find out the row difference. First row, 19, 50 and 10. So the least values are 19 and 10. So the again difference is 9. In that second row, 70, 40, 60. Least values are 40 and 60. So the difference is 60 minus 40, that is 20. In the third row, 40, 70, 20. So the least values are 40 and 20. The difference is 20. Similarly, column wise, first column, so again 40 and 19. So the difference is same, 21. In second column, all the values got cancelled, so we don't have difference, so that is nil. And third column, again 40 and 10, sorry, 50 and 40, so the difference is 10. And in the third column, 20 and 10, so again the difference is 10. Now consider row difference value 9, 20, 20 and column difference 21, 10, 10. So the largest value is this 21. So this is the next penalty, and this 21 corresponds to W1 column. In that we have 3 values, 19, 70, 40. The least value is 19. So our next allocation should be at this cell, that is first row, first column. Now you have to consider the demand and supply. Demand for this value, that is 5, and supply for that is 7. So the least value is 5. So I am allocating 5 here. Using this allocation value, I am going to subtract demand. 5 minus 5, 0. Similarly, 7 minus 5, 2. So the demand value is 0. So this allocation satisfies the demand requirement. So we have to cancel the corresponding column. Next, we have only 2 columns. Now again you have to find row difference and column difference value. So if you find row difference 50 and 10, we have only 2 values. So 50 minus 10, that is 40. And here 60 and 40. So if you subtract, you will get 20. And 70 minus 20, you will get 50. So first 2 columns got cancelled. And the third column, 50, 40, 70. So least values are 50 and 40. So the difference is 10. Similarly, last column, 10, 60, 20. Least values are 20 and 10. So the difference is 10. So the largest penalty is here 40, 20, 50, and column difference is 10 and 10. So the largest one is 50. This value. So this 50 corresponds to F3 row. In that row we have only 2 values, 70 and 20. The least value is 20. So our next allocation at this place. So this corresponding demand is 14 and corresponding supply is 10. So least value is 10. So 10. So 10 minus 10 will become 0 and 14 minus 10 will become 4. So this supply value is 0. So we have to cancel the corresponding row. Next we have only 4 values. So again you have to find the difference. 50 minus 10, 40, and this is again 20, and here we don't have values. Similarly here 10 and 60 minus 10, that is 50. So the largest value is 50. This is the highest penalty. So corresponding to W4 column, that 10 and 60 values are there. So least value is 10. So our next allocation at this place, that is first row, fourth column. So corresponding supply value is 2 and corresponding demand is 4. So the least one is 2. So 2. So you have to subtract with the allocation value. So 2 minus 2 0. 4 minus 2 is 2. So supply value will become 0. So you have to cancel the corresponding row. Next we have only two values, 60 and 40. So in that we have to first consider the least one, that is 40. So our next allocation at this place. So corresponding demand is 7, corresponding supply is 9. So the least one is 7. So 7 minus 7, 0. 9 minus 7, 2. So this demand value is 0. So we have to cancel the corresponding column. Next we have 60. So next allocation at this place. So both corresponding demand and supply, both the values are 2. So we have to allocate 2 here, and this 2 minus 2 0, and this also 0. So after allocating all the values, so we have to cancel corresponding column and row also. Okay. So after allocating all the values, we have to check whether all the demand and supply will become 0. So first if I check demand values, so first value 0, second also 0, third and fourth also 0. Similarly all the supply values are 0. So next we have to find how many number of allocations we have. See, in the first row we have allocation at this place, first place, that is 1, and here we have allocation 2, and this is 3, and here we have allocation 4, and this one 5, and this one 6. So we have totally 6 allocations. So this is called occupied cells. So wherever we have allocations, that cell, particular cell is called occupied cell. So the remaining cells are called unoccupied cells. See, in the first row, this first place and this fourth place are occupied cells, and this second and third place are called unoccupied cells. Similarly, in the second row, first two are unoccupied and the next two are occupied cells. And in the third row, first and third are unoccupied and second and fourth are occupied cells. So now we have to find whether it is degenerate or non-degenerate solution. For that we have to use the formula, that is m plus n minus 1 equal to number of occupied cells. So m is nothing but number of rows and n is nothing but number of columns. Okay. So m is number of rows. How many rows we have? F1, F2, F3, 3 rows. So this is 3 plus n is nothing but number of columns. How many columns we have? W1, W2, W3 and W4. So 4 columns. So 4 minus 1 equal to how many occupied cells we have? So as I said earlier, we have 6 occupied cells, right? So we have 6 allocations. So we have 6 occupied cells. So now solve this. 3 plus 4, 7 minus 1, that is 6. So this is 6 equal to, this is also 6. So both are equal. Therefore, it is non-degenerate solution. Next we have to check the optimality. For that we have to use Modi method. So in Modi's method, first we have to find the initial iteration. So in the initial iteration, first I have written the problem, and with that I have written the allocations, that is from this table. I have just written the values with the allocation values. In the first row we have 5 and 2. Similarly, second row 7 and 2, and third row 8 and 10. So I have just written the table with the allocation values. Now you have to assign first row as some unknown value, that is U1. Okay. Second row U2, third row U3. Similarly, columns, first column as V1, second column V2, third column V3 and fourth column V4. Now we have to find the values of U1, U2, U3 and V1, V2, V3 and V4. These are all unknown values. Now we have to find the values. So for that we have to use an equation, that is, so we have two equations. One is for occupied cells and another one is for unoccupied cells. First, for occupied cells, we have to use Ui plus Vj equal to Cij. So this I value is, that is U1, U2, U3. So we have three values. So 1, 2, 3 and J is, we have 4 V values, right? So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now you have to substitute the occupied cells in this equation and we have to find U1, U2, U3 and V1, V2, V3, V4. So first we have to find out the occupied cells. So first I will write it here. The occupied cells are, see in that first row, first column we have occupied cell, that is we have allocation, right? So this is 1, 1. Similarly, first row, last column we have allocation. So that is occupied cell. So 1, 4 and second row, third column, that is 2, 3 and second row, fourth column, that is 2, 4 and third row, second column we have allocation and third row, fourth column we have allocation. So that is 3, 2 and 3, 4. So these 6 values are occupied cells. Just substitute, this is I and this is J. So just substitute in this equation. So the first equation is, in the place of I, 1 plus V1 equal to C11. So in the place of I1, J1, that is this one. U1 plus V1 equal to this 19. This 19, 30, 50, 10 are all cost values. That is Cij, right? So this U1 plus V1 equal to C11. C11 value is 19, this first cell. So that is, this implies U1 plus V1 equal to 19. Next, U1 plus V4. Here we have occupied cell, right? So V4 equal to 10. So U1 plus V4 equal to C14. That is U1 plus V4 equal to 10. Next, second, U2 plus, here we have occupied, right? So that corresponds to V3, that is equal to this value. What is this? 40, right? So U2 plus V3 equal to C23. This implies U2 plus V3 equal to, that value is 40. Next, U2 plus this one. This corresponds to V4 column. So V4 equal to 60. So U2 plus V4 equal to 60. That is U2 plus V4 equal to C24. This one U3 plus V2 equal to C32 and this is U3 plus V4 equal to C34. So third column U3, this corresponds to V2. U3 V2, this is 8. So U3 plus V2 equal to 8 and this U3 plus last one V4 equal to this value, that is 20. So that is U3 plus V4 equal to 20. Now you have to find the values of U1, U2, U3 and V1, V2, V3, V4. So now we have to assume any value to be 0. Then only we will get the remaining values. So either U1 0 or U2 0 or U3 0. or otherwise V1, V2, V3, V4, whatever value, you have to assume any one value should be 0. So now I am going to assume U1 is 0. Okay. So first if I assume U1 0, first consider first equation. U1 plus V1 is 19. If this U1 is 0, then what is this equation is V1 equal to 19, right? Because this value is 0. Similarly, second one, if this value is 0, we have remaining V4 equal to 10. So now we got two values, V1 and V4. So now you have to substitute this V1 and V4 in any of the equations. See in this equation, see in the second this equation we have V4, right? So I am going to substitute this. U2 plus what is V4? 10. So 10 equal to 60. So this implies U2 equal to 60 minus 10, that is 50. So now I got U2 is 50. Okay. Similarly, here we have V4, right? So again I am going to substitute 10 in the last equation. So U3 plus 10 equal to 20. This implies U3 equal to 20. This plus 10, if you take it to the other side, it will become minus 10. So 20 minus 10, 10. So now I got U2 and U3. I am substitute this U2 and U3 in the remaining equation. So if I substitute U2 value is 50 here, 50 plus V3 equal to 40. So this is V3 equal to 40. This plus 50, if you take it to the other side, it will become minus 50. So that is minus 10. Next, in this equation, we know the value of U3. So that is 10 plus V2 equal to 8. So this is V2 is equal to 8 minus 10, that is minus 2. Now I got all the values. That is U1 is our assumption, that is 0. U2 is 50. U3 10. Similarly V1 19. V2 minus 2. V3 minus 10 and V4 10. So now using this Ui plus Vj equal to Cij equation, we have found U1, U2, U3 and V1, V2, V3, V4. So this is for occupied cells. Next we have to use another equation for unoccupied cells. Next we have to find opportunity cost value for all the unoccupied cells. So for that we have to use this equation, that is Dij equal to Ui plus Vj minus Cij. So now you have to find the unoccupied cells. So unoccupied cells are in that first row. Here we don't have allocation, right? So first row, second column, first row and third column. So 1, 2, 1, 3. So 1, 2, 1, 3. Similarly, second row, first column, second row, second column. So 2, 1, 2, 2. And in the third row, first column we don't have allocation. Similarly, third column we don't have allocation. So 3, 1 and 3, 3. So these are the unoccupied cells. So just substitute in the equation, we'll find out the value of opportunity cost. So that is first D 1, 2, because this is I, this is J. So D 1, 2 equal to U1 plus, because I is 1, J is 2. So V2 minus C12. D13 equal to U1 plus V3 minus C13. This is 2, 1. Here I is 2, J is 1. So D21 equal to U2 plus V1 minus C21. And here both I and j are 2. So D22 equal to U2 plus V2 minus C22. And here I is 3, j is 1. So D31 equal to U3 plus V1 minus C31, and last both are I and j are 3. So D33 equal to U3 plus V3 minus C33. Now we have to substitute the values. So in the first we have U1 is 0 plus V2. What is V2? Minus 2. So minus 2 and minus C12. That is, so from the table C12 value is 30. So just substitute 30. So simplify this, 0 and this is minus 2 minus 30. So this is minus 32. Next, second U1 0, V3 minus 10 minus C13 value. C13 from the table, first row, third column, that is 50. So 50. So simplify this, minus 10 minus 50. So that is minus 60. Similarly here U2 value is 50. Already we found out. So 50, what is V1? V1 here 19 and C21 that is from the table, second row, first column value 70. Okay. So that is V1 is 19 minus 70. So if you simplify, you will get 50 plus 19, 69 minus 70. So that is minus 1. Next U2, again that is 50 plus V2 value is minus 2. So minus 2 minus C22, that is from the table, second row, second column value, that is 30. So if you simplify, you will get 50, this is minus 32. So you will get 18. Next U3, that is 10 plus what is V1? 19 minus C31 that is from the table, third row, first column 40. So if you simplify, 10 plus 19 minus 40, that is minus 11. And in the last equation, U3 is 10 plus V3, that is minus 10 minus C33. C33 value is, so from the table, third row, third column, that is 70. So substitute 70. So plus 10 minus 10 will get cancelled, so we have minus 70. So now you have to check whether all the opportunity costs, these values are called opportunity costs, and these values should be negative values. If any positive value, we have to do the iteration again. So for find out the optimum solution, we have to proceed the iteration again. So here we have all the values are negative except this D22 value, that is 18, right? This value D22, that is 18. So D22 equal to 18, So this value alone positive, the remaining values are negative. So now we have to proceed the, so here we have not reached the optimum solution. So if you get any positive value, we have to repeat the same procedure. So again you have to consider the table. So in this value, we have only one positive value, right? This D22 equal to 18. So D22 means second row, second column. So in the previous table, second row, second column is unoccupied cell, right? So now we have to convert this cell into occupied cell. Okay, because that value alone is positive, right? So this D22 alone positive. Now this unoccupied cell we have to convert into occupied cell in the next iteration. So for that we have to first find a loop formation method. So for that we have to consider the table again. So I have written the table with the allocations. So this place, that is D22, second row, second column, this is unoccupied cell in the previous table. So now our aim is to convert this unoccupied cell into occupied cell. So for that we have to first form a loop. So we have a procedure to forming a loop. We have to move either right hand side or left hand side or upward or downward. We should not go diagonally, or we have to use only horizontal and vertical lines. So after forming a loop, first starting point we have to assign a positive sign, then alternate plus and minus sign. So we have only these two conditions. So first we have to start from the point that is D22, because this point alone is positive, right? So that is D22. So our starting point for forming a loop is second row, second column, that is this point. So we have to start here. So for forming a loop we have to go either upward or downward or right or left, but we should not go diagonally, and we have to move only to the occupied cells. Okay, so first from this unoccupied cell we can go only to the occupied cells. So I cannot go to this place because this is unoccupied. Similarly, I cannot go to this place because that is also unoccupied. So I can go either this place or this place, because this 50 and 70 are also unoccupied. So I am not supposed to go at this place. So I can go either this right hand side or downwards. So if I go this place, I can go move to from this point to this point. Suppose if I stop this at this point, I am not supposed to go upward or downward because both are unoccupied. So I can stop at this place. Okay, and from this point, this is occupied, right? So from this point I can either go upward or downward. Suppose if I go upward, I am not supposed to move to this point because these two are unoccupied and this is occupied, but still I can't form a loop. Okay, because this is diagonal position, so I am not supposed to use diagonal lines. So I can go only downward. So from this point, so I can move to this occupied cell. So this is third point. So from this point I can go to this point because the remaining points are unoccupied. So I can move only to the occupied cell. So this is fourth point. Again I go back to the starting position. So this is a final loop. I start with unoccupied and I can go only to the occupied cells. So I start here. So this point is positive sign and this is my second position. So I am assigning negative sign here. This is my third position, positive, and this is my fourth position, that is negative. So I have assigned alternate plus and minus signs. Okay, so now after that we have to consider the negative sign. So here we have two negative places. One allocation is 8 and another allocation is 2. So we have to consider the least allocation. Okay, in that we have 8 allocation and here 2. So I am consider 2. Now using this 2, wherever we have positive we have to add and wherever we have negative we have to subtract. So now you have to form a new table, that is next iteration. So next iteration I have written the table and we have to write the allocation without any change. So first I have written 5, that is no change. Similarly this 2, here also there is no change, and this 40, right? Here we have 7, this is also no change. So the remaining 4 values are in the loop, right? So first consider the minimum negative allocation, that is 2. Okay, so first consider starting point. Here we have positive sign, but here we don't have any allocation. So now we have to add. So there is no value. If you add 2, we have 2. So now check, in the previous table this place is unoccupied, but in the new iteration this will become occupied. So this is our aim, right? So we have to convert this D22 place that is unoccupied already, we have to convert that into occupied. So here we have an allocation, so this cell has become occupied cell. Next move on to this position, that is 60, and here we have allocation is 2 and here we have minus sign. So 2 minus 2, that is 0. Okay, so we no need to write that 0. Next move on to next position 20, that is 10, and here we have plus sign. So least minimum is 2. So we have to add 10 plus that 2. So I have written here least minimum value is 2. So using this 2, if we have plus you have to add, if you have minus you have to subtract. So in this place we have positive, so 10 plus 2, that is 12, and last value this one, this cell, right, 8, and here we have minus. So if you subtract you will get 6. 8 minus 2, 6. Now check both the tables. See, these two places have changed. See, in the second row, second column, unoccupied in the previous table and now it becomes occupied. Similarly, second row, fourth column is occupied and now it becomes unoccupied. So after this change, again we have to find U1, U2, U3, V1, V2, V3, V4. So I am just allocating U1, U2, U3, and this is V1, V2, V3, V4. So again we have to find occupied cell and unoccupied cell. That is first occupied cell. For that we have to use the equation Ui plus Vj equal to Cij. So I will directly write the equations. See, first occupied is first row, first column, right, this one. So U1 plus V1 equal to this value, that is 19. So first U1 plus V1 equal to 19. Next occupied is this one, right. So that is U1 plus V4 equal to cost value, that is 10. So U1 plus V4 equal to 10. Next second row, U2 plus V2 equal to cost value 30. Next second row, this value, third column, U2 plus V3 equal to cost value, that is 40. Next third row, that is U3, this is V2, cost value is 8. U3 plus V2 equal to 8, and last one is U3 plus last value V4 equal to, and this value, that is 20. So we have to assume any value should be 0. So again I am going to assume U1 is 0. So assume U1 0. So if I assume U1 0, substitute in the first two equation. So this U1 0, so that we have remaining V1 is 19, and the second equation U1 0 means V4 is 10. So V4 10, so in the last equation we have V4, right. So I am going to substitute here. U3 plus V4 is 10 equal to 20. U3 equal to, so 20, if I take this plus 10 to the other side, it will become minus 10. So 20 minus 10, 10. And here I am going to substitute this because we know U3 is 10 plus V2 that we have to find equal to 8. So V2 is 8 minus 10, because if you take this plus 10 to the other side, it will become minus 10. So 8 minus 10, that is minus 2. So V2 is minus 2. So we know the value V2. So U2 minus V2 is minus 2, right? 30. So U2 is 30 minus 2 will become plus 2. So that is 32. So U2 is 32 plus V3 equal to 40. So V3 is 40 minus 32, that is 8. So now we will find out the opportunity cost value using all the UI and VJ values. So first we will write the values here. U1 our assumption 0 and U2, what is U2? 32, U3 10 and V1 19, V2 is minus 2, V3 8 and V4 is 10. So using this value, now we have to find opportunity cost. So for that we have to consider unoccupied cells. So we have to use Dij equal to Ui plus Vj minus Cij. So first we will find out the unoccupied equations. See, first row, second column, that is U1, V2, that corresponding value, cost value is 30. So if I substitute here, you will get first row U1 plus V2 minus 30. So this is 1, 2, right? So D1, 2. So if you want, I will write it here. 1, 2. First we will write the values. First row, third column. Second row, first, and second row, fourth. So 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 4. And third row, first, and third row, third. First we don't have value, similarly third we don't have value. So 3, 1, 3, 3. So if I substitute D13 equal to U1 plus V3 minus, what is first row, third value cost, that is 50. And this is D21 is equal to DU2 plus V1 minus second row, first one cost value is, this is 70 and next one is 60, last value 60. So this is 70, $60. Next D31 equal to U3 plus V1 minus third row, first one, that is 40. And D33 equal to U3 plus V3 minus third row, third one, 70. Now simplify all the equations by substituting Ui and Vj values. So first equation U1 value 0 plus V2 is minus 2 minus 30. So answer is minus 32. Next second equation U1 0, V3 8 minus 50. So 8 minus 50 minus 42. Next U2 32 plus V1 19 minus 70. So 32 plus 19 minus 70, answer is minus 19. U2 32 plus V4 is 10 minus 60. So this is 42 minus 60 minus 18. Next U3 10, V1 19 minus 40. So 29 minus 40 minus 11. So U3 10, V3 8 minus 70. So 18 minus 70 minus 52. So now you have to check the opportunity cost value, or either it is negative or 0. So here all the values are negative, so we have reached an optimum solution. If any one value is positive, you have to repeat the procedure again, but here we have all the values are negative, so we have reached the optimum solution. So now you have to find the transportation cost value. So for that we have to consider this table. So for finding transportation cost, we have to multiply allocation value into cost price. Okay, so transportation cost value is TC equal to, so from the table, so what is the first value? First allocation is 5 into, here we have cost value is 19. So 5 into 19 plus second allocation is 2 in 10. So 5 into 19 plus 2 into 10 plus next second row, first value is allocation is 2 and value is 30, and here 7 and into 40. 2 into 30 plus 7 into 40 plus in the third row 6 into 8 and 12 into 20. So multiply all the values. So first 5 into 19, 95 plus 20 plus 2 into 30, 60 plus 280 plus 6 into 8, that is 48 plus 12 into 20, 240. So if you add all the values, you will get 743. This is the transportation cost value by using Modi's method. Thank you.